With Wusabat, we don't lean to one side. It's all about balance. Yes, semen and the retention, because it's energy. Everything is energy at different vibrations or different level.
Men carry the seed of life. So no, you should not be spilling yourself frivolously and carelessly.
And yes, you can use it and waste your energy frivolously by just constantly, because remember that sperm is life, and a man is supposed to really utilize it for procreation.
If you see that you are important, that means that your seed is important. Now,
but you can control, because everything comes down to control and what you're controlling it for. And if you're not with a mate or with a,
convert that energy and use it within your higher self. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Travis, and welcome to the IPH Theory. Also, I am one half of the Cultural Discussions. Please like, follow, and subscribe to both entertainment channels on YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a review that I want to do, and it's coming from the great page OSM Visions. You know, I have reviewed at least 3 of their videos from, I call him a master teacher. Now, I believe he has a master teacher, but shout out to Dr. Sequin or Dr. Jude Joseph. You know, I've done lessons about should teenagers be dating. You know, I've done lessons on the purpose of life. I've done another lesson over the power of emotions. And here goes my 4th one. And it revolves and regards semen retention. You know, men's seminal fluid, you know, the fluid that leads to reproduction. Probably the most powerful fluid on the planet. But anyway, let's see what Dr. Joseph has to say about semen retention, and then we'll expand on that. Here we go.
I'm somebody that's interested in semen retention. I've been looking into it for around a few years now.
right.
And naturally, sexual discipline, circulating your sexual energy is very important. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on your experience with it, and have you got any advice in terms of how to utilize that energy?
Absolutely. So again, with Wusabat, we don't lean to one side. It's all about balance. Yes, semen and the retention, because it's energy. Everything is energy at different vibrations or different level. And yes, you can use it and waste your energy frivolously by just constantly, because remember that sperm is life, and a man is supposed to really utilize it for procreation. But you can control, because everything comes down to control and what you're controlling it for. And if you're not with a mate or with a partner or with somebody that you have a meaningful relationship with, then you should utilize that energy in other ways. So you can, remember, when you're dealing with what people consider the chakras, right? The lowest one is the one but where your sexual organs are, and that's the red, the lust, the desires. And you can actually transform that energy and raise it up, yeah, and use it mentally as opposed to using it lustfully. But however, like with everything else, you know, like you have to have a balance. And if you are with a partner or with a mate, it's still about discipline. So it's like, we're not saying don't have sexual relationships with your partner, but again, it has to be controlled. It's not just like, oh, I just feel like it, and you're just doing things like just, you know, for the sake of it. So there has to be a balance and a control to everything. But yes, it's a good discipline to have. This is where the religious world, they lean too far to one side, like I was saying about being good all the time and turning the other cheek. So monks, this is why they taught you that Jesus never had a wife and he was celibate, and now you have priests and monks and people trying to imitate that lifestyle, but they can't, because if you go into the monasteries and where, you know, you have nuns and priests, they have found under, like, there was a lot of information about under the Vatican and certain places where a lot of abortions, because the sexual urges will come, and as a man you do need to release at some point at certain intervals. And so it's about balance. And when they were trying to live this Christ-like life, when it wasn't even the truth, because Jesus was married, Jesus did have sex, Jesus did have children. And so, yeah, I hope that's answered that question.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you all heard what I heard and saw what I saw. I'm thankful for the gentlemen like Dr. Jude and many gentlemen like that. I listen to many individuals that I consider teach truth and preach truth, because that's what the world is missing. But ladies and gentlemen, this is a very serious topic. I believe everything is in moderation. You know, if you're not in a loving and committed and loyal relationship, you should not just be spilling your seed. And I call it your seed because it is the seed of life. Men carry the seed of life, and the woman, her womb is the workshop of the Most High. Literally 9 months in the womb. That's a miracle. That's beautiful. But men carry the seed of life. So no, you should not be spilling yourself frivolously and carelessly, and, you know, spilling yourself from a pointless or a futile perspective, because if you believe that you are a special person, that means that you also have special seed. I'm not perfect. You know, have I fornicated? Yes. Have I had premarital sex? Yes. But at this stage of my life, am I just looking to lay with any woman and just swap energies and swap souls? No, I'm not. You know, I could use that same energy, instead of using it for lustful purposes or lechery or debauchery. I can use that same energy to do this and talk to you guys. I can use that same energy to go lift weights at the gym. I can use that same energy to go create, or I can use that same energy to praise the Most High, or to go volunteer, or to go shoot basketball or throw the football. You can always use your energy for something else. You know, so I do believe in a form of seminal retention. I do believe that you should not just be spilling your seed in the sink, or you should just be ejaculating every day. We all know that whenever you release your seed, you do get tired, because that seed is filled with energy and testosterone and blood and sugar and minerals and vitamins, you know, and just being a man and being highly sexually active in my past, you do have more energy when you're not just releasing all the time. Now, us men, we do have build up. You do have to release. Either you're going to release with your partner, or you might have a nocturnal emission. A nocturnal emission is basically a wet dream. Or some people choose to spill themselves in the shower or in the sink. Like I said, I'm not perfect, but am I the guy that's always thinking about ejaculation every day? Absolutely not. I have a life. You see the way I'm talking to you all right now? It's literally, I live in the Dallas area. It's 12:42 a.m. You know, a lot of people would be asleep right now. Imagine if I decided to spill myself in the sink, or spill myself with a young lady. All of a sudden, I'm like, I'll record some videos tomorrow. Next thing you know, tomorrow has its own obstacles. Now you're not recording. But I had the time and the energy and the drive and the motivation and the inspiration to use my creativity today. I'd rather use my seminal built up for creative energy And I pray that this video does a lot of numbers. And whether my videos do a lot of numbers or not, you know, some of my videos do thousands of views. Sometimes they'll get 30 views, but I know that I have great content. I know that I'm speaking truth. I know that I'm speaking sense. So I believe in moderation as well. If I'm married or if I'm engaged or I'm in a relationship, then of course there will be times when I will release. You know, she's going to require it as well. But let's be honest. This generation, we treat sexual intercourse like it's a sport. Sex is for reproduction. Other than reproduction, yes, do we all have our times where our body and our mind is filled with lechery? Yes. You know, lust is good and it's bad. If you're lusting over every woman that you see, or ladies, if you're lusting over every man that you see, that's bad. But lust is needed because that's how we create humans. I possibly won't exist if it wasn't for lust. So lust is not bad. It's just overdoing your lust and being out of control with it. That's bad. It is about control. It is about discipline. You know, every time you get an erection, if you're not with a young lady, I don't mean you go run to the bathroom and go spill yourself. Cool off. I don't know. Change your thoughts. Go to Sports Center. Go watch some highlights. Go create content. Sit down and think about what you want to handle, or what you need to handle, or what your future plans are, or your future goals, and what's inspiring you. You know, your future aspirations. But, you know, it's already been over 11 minutes. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but semen retention, it is a hot topic online. You should not just frivolously spill yourself. Men, we carry the seed of life. If you see that you are important, that means that your seed is important. Now, that same seed might come out in a nocturnal emission. That same seed might come out if you're with a young lady. But all I want to say is, don't spill your seed pointlessly. Your seed is not futile. Your seed is not pointless. So don't waste your seed. Convert that energy and use it within your higher self. Anyways, Dr. Jude, I appreciate you again. I don't know if you've even ever seen any of my videos, whether you have or you haven't. I appreciate what you preach. I want to give a special shout out to OSM Visions. You all should go follow that platform and that channel on YouTube. It's a great channel. They have nothing but brilliant intellect on that channel, and it's motivating. Well, you know, leaders like me, leaders motivate leaders. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Travis. Welcome to the IPH Theory. If you made it this far, much love to you and your loved ones. You stay safe. It's 12:46 a.m. in Dallas. That's where I am. Shout out to the Dallas content creators, and shout out to me. Have a beautiful day.